ready for me?
We got it.
One daily and 10%.
Thank you for being here. Well,
Yeah, I
That's
applaud
right.
you all
Appreciate you.
for
You
coming out.
five are great. 5
Whenever you're ready.
Ready? 11 million illegal immigrants currently live in the United States, according to the official website of the White House in 2013. With such a startlingly large number of illegal immigrants living in the United States, we must take action and do something. I will explain why we should provide a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants, including registered provisional legal status. Right now, our immigration system is set up to deport innocent children brought here through no fault of their own, exploit immigrants by taking advantage of them, and finally, not give illegal immigrants any opportunity at all to better themselves in a country that was founded on giving everyone opportunity. In my speech, I will break down why providing illegal immigrants with a pathway to citizenship will help our economy, why deporting 11 million people without even looking at them as individuals is simply impractical, and that America strongly supports providing a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants. So, like I said, providing a pathway to citizenship will help our economy. Those who are against helping illegal immigrants at all say that illegal immigrants take our jobs. But in reality, this is far from the truth. President Obama, in his reform policy, has said that immigrants will pay taxes if they obtain citizenship, and they'll play by the same rules as everyone else. Right now, illegal immigrants aren't paying any taxes because they're not citizens. If they are citizens, they will pay taxes. And allowing illegal immigrants a pathway to citizenship will create less poverty. Right now, our system sets up a permanent sub-citizen class of immigrants who have no chance to better themselves because they get taken advantage of and they get paid below minimum wage. And in addition, immigrants do necessary jobs that Americans don't want to do, but that need to be done. Whether that's bussing tables at restaurants, working fast food, immigrants fulfill those jobs. And actually, an immigration expert at the Libertarian Institute of Cato found that since illegal immigrants will have more money if they are allowed to earn citizenship, this will create more jobs because they will spend more. And in the next 10 years, that could possibly create over 100,000 jobs annually. So my second point on this is that it is impractical to deport 11 million immigrants without looking at them as individuals. Deporting immigrants and separating families has dramatic negative effects on children that were brought here through no fault of their own. What would you do if you were 5 or 6 years old and your parents brought you across the border? Of course you're going to follow them. You don't know any better. And the second point on this is that although many Republicans say that illegal immigrants are criminals and that's all they do is commit crimes, this is far from the truth. Last year, from the immigration census website, only 55% of illegal immigrants deported had committed any crimes whatsoever. And 63% of those so-called criminals had committed a minor crime, such as a traffic violation, which could be, rolling through a stop sign. Certainly those people aren't actually criminals. And in addition on this, by not allowing illegal immigrants a pathway to citizenship, we go against everything that America was founded on. Our country was founded on giving opportunities to everyone. People came here because of the opportunity. Our country has been shaped by large waves of immigration, such as the Eastern Europeans in the 1920s. And my last point on this is that America supports and strongly supports providing a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants. First of all, you have Obama, who came out with his immigration reform system in the last couple of years. And he's not just going to hand citizenship over to everyone, he's going to make them earn it. The Senate is also strongly supporting on this with their immigration bill that will allow immigrants to have registered provisional status, where basically if they behave well and learn English and get an education, they'll be allowed to stay here and eventually earn citizenship. And in addition on this, American citizens strongly support providing illegal immigrants with a pathway to citizenship. Last year, in a CNN poll, 81% of respondents said they would support providing illegal immigrants with a pathway to citizenship. This is no small 50-50 split. This is 4 out of 5 people believe that we should help illegal immigrants and provide them with a pathway to citizenship. And even many House Republicans support a pathway to citizenship. I know Republican Representative Joe Heck of Nevada said that he supports it as long as immigrants don't jump to the front of the line ahead of everyone else. So in conclusion, we must do something to, with the 11 million people, provide them with a pathway to citizenship because it will help our economy. It's impractical to deport them, and America strongly supports it. Thank you.
Round 6.
Okay, so you claim in your speech that providing a path to citizenship is going to create more jobs. However, illegal immigrants are already taking jobs that legal residents should have, upwards of 14 million jobs.
Well, how are 11 million people taking 14 million jobs is my first question. And my second thing on this is, like I said, they fulfill jobs that Americans don't want to do and that we need.
That's a valid point, but don't you think that if you were a legal resident and your family was starving, that you would take a job that was minimum wage in order to feed them?
Possibly, but I have one more point on this too. Illegal immigrants with more money, when they'll make more money as citizens, they'll create more, because when people spend more, they create more, whether that's, spending more money at restaurants, spending more money at stores, whatever. The more money that's in the economy, that's going to make it better for everyone. And a lot of people don't see that.
So I'm going to argue from the opposing point, obviously, on why we should not provide a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants. The federal government should not provide a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants because they are responsible for violent crimes in the U.S. and are the primary distributors of most illicit drugs. This is coming straight from the Justice Department's National Gang Intelligence Center. Both local and state law enforcement agencies have published several reports that found that up to 80% of crime in the U.S. is committed by gangs, and gang membership has gone up to over 1 million people in the last few years. And this membership is primarily made up of illegal immigrants. These gangs, mostly made up of illegal immigrants, commit more than just petty crimes like rolling stop signs, and they actually bring down the areas where they live in a big group. Illegal aliens also come to the U.S. and take jobs that are offered to them because of greater opportunities, and they are often welcomed by U.S. employers who are able to pay them lower wages than if they had to hire U.S. citizens. This, by the way, is not only illegal due to the laws that are right now on the books in the U.S., but it is also hurtful to the millions of unemployed citizens who could benefit from these jobs. They always argue that U.S. citizens don't want to take the jobs that illegals fill. However, like I brought up in the cross-examination, if you were desperate and your family was starving and you didn't have any money, your lights were getting shut off, you were going to get evicted, wouldn't you take up a job that was minimum wage instead of just saying, oh no, I don't want that, it's too good for me? I don't think so. But these jobs are being stolen by illegals, where employers are not allowed to verify the workers' documents on the books. So they use these loopholes in order to hire these illegals in a kind of underground employment system. And so our economy isn't being benefited from the jobs that these illegals take because they're not paying any payroll tax at all. And in often cases, they actually send a large portion of the money they make home and back to their countries that they came from in the first place. High unemployment is not only a result of the stress market factors, but it has also been created and prolonged by the current illegal immigration problem. If the labor and immigration laws that are already established were enforced, over 14.4 million jobs would open up for current American citizens. This would satisfy nearly 7.2 million jobless legal residents and bring the unemployment rate down to about 1.9% is what economists predict. So it would bring the overall unemployment down from 7.2 million Americans to about 2.8 Americans. And if committing crimes and taking American jobs is not bad enough, illegal immigrants steal the American dream. Citizenship is a wonderful privilege, and illegal aliens do themselves and their family a disservice by choosing to come to this country illegally. They have stolen something that's intangible but very valuable. Over the history of our country, millions of immigrants have immigrated to America respectively and by obeying the law. And so for those who enter our country illegally, providing them with a path to citizenship would basically be a slap in the face to all of the law-abiding immigrants who have chosen to respect the laws of our country and do it the right way. Illegal immigrants also negatively impact the property values for tax-paying citizens. Business owners suffer when day laborers form shape-up lines outside their businesses and their homes. And I know living in Denton, we all have seen somewhere very particular where these shape-up lines are formed. And so what basically happens, it brings the overall area down, because when the cities evaluate the property and property taxes, they factor in things like the crime rate and things like, how things are in the neighborhood. And so for the people who own local businesses in that area, would-be consumers have second thoughts about going to that area to shop because they feel unsafe because all of these men are standing around. So it's not fair for law-abiding U.S. citizens who pay their property taxes to be negatively impacted by the day laborers standing around. Thank you.
Crossix?
All right, so my first thing on here is that, you talk about illegal immigrants, like them all being criminals, but last year, like the ones they found, even the ones that they deported, just over half of them had any sort of crime whatsoever. So do we really want something that's only half effective?
Definitely not. However, it has been founded. Like I said, the Justice Department has actually formulated this National Gang Intelligence Center, and they coordinate with local and state governments to actually figure out how the crime population is going up in specific areas, and they have found the majority of these gangs that distribute illicit drugs and commit heinous crimes are made up mostly of illegal aliens.
Well, but I mean, you look at other points, gangs can be made up of white people, black people. It really comes down to people, if they're in a bad economic situation, a lot of times they resort to that. They resort to dealing drugs or something. So we're kind of asking for it because we're not providing them with any sort of way to better themselves.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. In an article entitled Immigration and Poverty in the United States, posted on heritage.org, it reads as follows. The current influx of poorly educated immigrants is the result of two factors. First, a legal immigration system that favors kinship ties over skills and education. First-generation Hispanics and their families now comprise 9% of the U.S. population, but 17% of all poor persons in the U.S. Children in Hispanic immigrant families now comprise 11.7% of all children in the U.S., but 22% of all poor children in the U.S., which is a big group. So in a nutshell, this reference is simply stating that due to the increase in poorly educated immigrants, their success level of making it here in America is solely based on who they know instead of what they know. Working skills and education that have been acquired for them are non-factors. Even if they were educated, they probably still would not be able to get a good job here in America due to the fact that they do not have Social Security cards and they don't have the same level of citizenship that Americans do. Although immigrants make up 9% of the current population, a large majority of immigrants are accounted for in the 17% of the low social economic class in the United States. So although that immigrants are coming here and they're working their way up through the system, they are all starting from the bottom. They are all starting at a poverty line, which is even lower than what Americans are starting out at here when they leave home from their parents' house. Another valid point is that immigrant children account for 22% of all children living in poverty in the United States. In another article, Walter Ewing stated in an article entitled "The Sooner Immigrants Become Citizens, the Better It Is for the Economy," as follows. Legal status and citizenship enable undocumented immigrants to reduce and earn significantly more than they do when they are on the economic sidelines. The resulting productivity and wage gains ripple through the economy because immigrants are not just workers, they are also consumers and taxpayers. They will spend their increased earnings on the purchase of food, clothing, housing, cars, computers, etc. The spending in turn will stimulate the demand in the economy for more products and services, which creates jobs and expands the economy itself. So this reference supports a path to citizenship by stating how making immigrant citizens can inevitably stimulate the economy by being able to buy more with more money, and also by them being taxpayers will create a higher rate of buying demand around America. So the more immigrants that we get into America and we give them citizenship, the more of them that are taking up food stamps and everything else like government funding, you know what I mean? So by giving them jobs, we are enabling them. We are giving them the chance to come out and be taxpayers, the chance to come out and put money back into the system. We need this to recycle. We need this in order to help our economy in the end, in the long term, because we all know currently we're living in a bad economic crisis. And by having immigrants and we have more people to spend more money, then we will initially be able to let that debt decrease over the years. My next point is that immigrants fulfill necessary jobs that Americans do not want, and also immigrants do not take American jobs. I found in an article that states immigrants often take the low-paying jobs like food service, hotel cleaning that most Americans do not want to do at such low wages. Few Americans like to wash dishes, bus tables, mop floors, pick up garbage. These types of jobs must be done, but employers consistently have trouble finding regular employees to do the work. So although there are a lot of Americans here that are living below the poverty line, a lot of them are lazy. Americans are lazy in a lot of ways when it comes to working. They have a lot of pride. And I believe that all of us here have some sort of pride when it comes to picking up garbage on the side of the road. We don't want to do it.
Francis?
In your statement, you said that immigrants have, basically, they have the same classification as some Americans when you say starting from the bottom and everything. What clarification do you have of that? Because our America's is somewhat in levels, and we have a lower class register, and for the lower class, they need those jobs.
Okay. The issue that I have here is that lower class have a higher standard. They don't have a higher standard, but they have a better opportunity of getting jobs due to them being able to get educated here in America, and they have socials. Immigrants that come over here do not have that opportunity, so education is not a factor for them. You know what I mean? So it's not the fact that Americans can't get these jobs because of immigrants. It's the fact that Americans aren't wanting to use. Can I finish?
So you're trying to finish?
Okay. Americans are not willing to go out and look at immigrants as their equals. Instead, they're just sitting on the sidelines saying that we deserve these jobs, but you're not going out getting them. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm here to stand in agreement with my partner that immigrants should not be made to citizenship, should not be made a path to citizenship. My point is illegal immigrants are not helpful to the safety of our country. Now, there's an article off of InfoWars, and it states that, in fact, illegal immigration has greatly contributed to the rising violent crimes rates all over the nation. Gang membership is exploding. Mexican drug cartels are operating in more of our country than ever before, and identity theft by illegal immigrants is at epidemic levels. Something desperately needs to be done. So, with that being said, immigrants, they are committing crime, and there's obviously there's enough crime in America as it is, and there should not be anyone coming in with baggage that we have to take in. We should not have to enable immigrants that are committing crime with their backgrounds and everything when we have everything of our own. We're trying to limit it as we are. We're trying to limit crime as it already is, and it's hard for us to limit it with add-on of other people's crime. In another article for Renewed America, it states that at the same time, after a steady annual reduction in crime, the annual FBI Uniform Crime Report reveals a slow but sure yearly increase in crime, especially violent crime. Some criminologists attribute the rise in crime to aliens who come into the United States with a criminal background. And that's basically what I was saying earlier. We cannot even, there is an assured rate of increase of crime that the illegal aliens bring to the table. And another point that I have, illegal immigrants contribute to the criminal population. And there's another article that says from the Daily Caller, new research shows that the second generation immigrants in the New research shows that the second generation immigrants in the U.S. may be more likely to commit crimes than their foreign-born parents. A recent Pew study found that crime rate among second generation immigrants is significantly higher. So that means that the immigrants' children are committing crimes, and they're actually, it's like the illegal aliens are passing the baton on to their children to say, go ahead, you can do what I just did. And that's not the case that we should have here. It shows them that that's okay in our country. They don't know any better. Like my opponent said, they don't know any better. And so they're doing that and thinking that it's okay when it's not okay. We don't need that in this country. And another point is lower class American jobs are needed for lower class Americans. When I say lower class Americans, I typically mean more African Americans. And there's an article by Lodi News on November the 18th, 2013. Many black men denied legit jobs because of the easy access. Employers have to undocumented workers who are driven into low-level street drug sales. They have really been hurt by losing low-level jobs to illegal aliens. Illegal aliens are willing to work, leaving Americans without anything. Illegal aliens are willing to work. I will give you that. But we still need those jobs. And so when push comes to shove, then we will eventually get out there and provide for our families, provide for our children who needs food and who needs water and who needs shelter and who needs clothing. Whatever they need, we will provide. So therefore, we may not like it. Now, immigrants, they may like it. We won't. And so we still need those jobs. It doesn't mean necessarily, it's not fair for our lower class register, or our lower class Americans to be, taken away from the opportunity of getting jobs because they have to compete with another lower class immigrant, because they have the same they have a guaranteed opportunity, and it's like someone coming and snatching it away from them, and they're at the bottom of the barrel as it is, so they're trying to pull their way to the top, but then they have to compete with someone else that's not really, they don't even have the same qualifications.
Press X.
Okay. In your debate, you're basically saying that you're emphasizing on immigrants such as Mexican Americans or whatever you want to say. You pointed out that they're criminals, but have you taken a look at the crimes that they have committed, such as here in the article we found that last year just 55% of illegal immigrants deported had committed crimes, and 63% of these crimes that have been committed were like traffic violations. So what are the qualifications, or what are the types of crimes that you are?
Well, my research tells me that some, as I stated in the article before, that some are violent crimes, not just the petty crimes. No, some are violent crimes, and we don't need that in this country. Any more questions?
That's fine. Austin.
All right, so we really have a big problem. I mean, with 11 million people, that's not some small number. And the point is, they're not going to go anywhere. You know, we can't go out and find all of them. We're not going to be able to deport all of them. So we should provide a pathway to citizenship. I'm not saying that we should just hand it out to everybody who wants it. We should make them earn it, but they should have some opportunity. I mean, this country was founded on opportunity. You know, the whole American dream thing, people came over here because of the opportunity. And if you look at, I mean, I know we're having the biggest deal right now is Mexico, which is what we're talking about, but you look at what's going on with the drug cartels and everything, and the economic opportunities there, and their political systems all in chaos. Of course they're going to try to get over here, and we should allow them to do so. And like my opponent said, that, you know, illegal immigrants are constantly committing crimes, but like we found, just over half of even the ones deported last year had committed any crimes, and most of those were minor crimes. They weren't, you know, felonies or whatever. So, you know, can we really judge? I mean, think about in America, if we just judge, oh, there's a couple of these white people that commit crimes, so we should get rid of all of them. Or there's a couple of black people that committed crimes, so this is how we think of all of them. To me, that's stereotyping, and especially when the stats suggest otherwise. And then on the jobs part, yes, I understand that, you know, with the past couple of years with the recession and everything, but like our research found, illegal immigrants are going to help create jobs, because when there, I mean, that's a fact, when there is more money in the economy, and they will in fact make more money if they're citizens, because right now people exploit them. They can treat them like whatever and don't have to pay them minimum wage because they're not documented. When they do have more jobs, they're going to spend more, and you're going to see kind of a ripple effect, you know, with restaurants, with stores, you name it in the business, they're going to spend more. And I mean, overall, on like, you know, property taxes and everything, I mean, illegal immigrants don't have an effect on that. It's more just about, you know, what kind of houses or what kind of businesses in the area. So to me, you know, you look at that, when illegal immigrants, you know, are able to obtain citizenship and they have more money, that's going to bring, you know, our economy, our environment up overall, because, you know, then they're going to have more money to spend. They're not going to be loitering out on the streets, which is what basically we're creating for them right now. They don't have opportunity. And you know, when you're creating something for opportunity, I mean, what else can you do? Like like Monique mentioned, you know, we create them and just leave them in poverty. They don't have any opportunities, and so they're going to have to, you know, some of them are going to resort to crime because they don't have any opportunity.
I'm not gonna stand here and say that my opponents didn't bring up a lot of really good points, because they did. However, when you look at it, really providing a provisional path to citizenship for illegal immigrants is sending the wrong message. It's sending a message that, you know, America, we do already have this problem, like Austin brings up, they're already here. However, allowing them to be able to attain citizenship is sending a message that it's okay if you don't obey our laws and you do whatever you want to do and you come into this country however you're going to get here, and at the end of the day we're going to feel bad for you, and then we're going to help you and give you the same rights as citizens as well as permanent residents who have immigrated the correct way for years and years and years. Why is it okay for certain people, since Austin mentioned that we're focusing mainly on the U.S. relations with Mexico, that it's okay for that group of people to come over and we're going to help them and provide for them a way to get citizenship when they pretty much stole the right to come here in the first place. Austin also brought up a point that illegal immigrants do not affect the property taxes and the businesses around where they line up looking for day jobs, so basically day laborers, and that's simply not the fact. Like firsthand, it's shown that business owners are having an impact when these people are lining up in their communities, because when would-be consumers pass by and see them, they feel unsafe and they don't want to shop there, and so these local businesses are suffering, and when they're not making profit, that money isn't going back into the economy to stimulate it. And so it actually really is a big problem. And a lot of people end up having urban flight, and so they leave areas that are slowly coming down because all of the crime that the illegal immigrants are committing, not just petty crimes that was mentioned, but a big problem, like my partner said, is the Mexican drug cartel. They have a very intricate network that's coming into the US and sending money out, and it is bringing down these areas, and over time, these areas have a bad reputation. Also, the jobs that are being taken by illegal immigrants, yes, it's a fact that, you know, Americans can be lazy and that they don't want to take lower income jobs, but they are low income people, like we've found research showing, such as African Americans, who would fulfill these jobs, but they can't because they're in constant competition with these illegal immigrants who came here and shouldn't even be here. And so why is it fair for people who were born here to suffer because illegal immigrants need to provide for their families? All right, thanks all.
That was good. That was good.
I didn't even get my last point.
Would you like a poll of the audience?
Yeah.
Who says yes immigration?
I wasn't done, but.
Yes citizenship? Who says moo no citizenship?
They were both pretty good arguments.
They were both really good arguments.
Well,
Thank you.
Affirmative. I just have it on.
Yeah,